Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Sean Butner with Start Your Morning with a High Performance Coach. Today, we're going to talk about things that aren't going to help you in the rest of 2020 or really anytime. Because if you're consistently bombarding your mind and psychology with things that make you unhappy, you're going to decrease your quality of life, and you're going to make it yourself miserable, the people around you miserable. And right now, the world needs everyone to be a little bit more positive, to focus on what we can control, what we can do to move forward, and what's really going to help us solve problems and not point fingers. So, very quickly, if you're joining me for the first time, please subscribe wherever you're watching this video on YouTube, Instagram, or the Facebook. So, that said, this is live too. If you have any questions, post those below, and I'll shout out to people as I see you. But, for those who are consistently angered by the world, overwhelmed by the world, outraged by the world, who just live in that space of frustration, and I've been there too, so I'm not, calling anyone out. This is a reminder for me, to bring the joy, as my shirt says. But it's time to reflect and think, is this the way you really want to live your life? With the whole range of human emotions, why those? Why do you choose to live there? And if you're saying, oh, I'm reacting to the world, the truth is you're not showing up in a way where you're directing your own emotion and your own intent in the world, and that is on you. As your coach, I have not been as challenging as I probably need to be on these shows, because I'm still working on my coffee. I'm not sure I'd like that. But honestly, though, are you giving away your power by reacting and letting your emotions rule the day? So, some other things to think of, does the news or social media inform you how to be upset, afraid, depressed, all these different negative emotions? Do you feel cruddier as a human being, as a person, or, as our society after engaging with video media, social media, going out in the world and not really thinking hey, the reality of the world needs to be a bit different? So, does it keep you from trying to see other people as people and just try to understand them better? You don't need to live in this world of negative emotions. And right now, like I said, we need people to step up, to be positive, to be centered, and to really think, how can we solve some of the really big issues facing us here in the United States and around the world? So, I'm partly talking about this because it's something I think about a lot, and something that I think, as people have been in lockdown, as people have seen how the pandemic's been responded to around the world, here in the United States, a lot of the social unrest with people not wanting to wear masks out in public, or the Black Lives Matter. We have all these serious issues, and I see a lot of people just trolling other people online. And that's fine, it's part of everyone's First Amendment, but, you have to, think, somebody's not thinking, how my whole goal is to try to upset other human beings that I'll never see, that are not in my community. And so that has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I guess. So, seeing friends, kind of have some epic battles online, or you have aunts and uncles that watch, their favorite version of the news media right now, and it's, very political, depending on which channel they turn into. And it just makes them feel less hopeful for the future. It crushes their spirits. So, I'm sure if you're like me, then you have to think, there's got to be a better way. And for me, trying to protect my positive psychology is super important, just so I can function in the world. I'll admit, there's been days since March, where I've lost to the feeling of frustration, to just feeling a little helpless and hopeless and out of control of the world around me. And, you can't, the show must go on. You have to move forward. And, how we do that and how we can do that with integrity really shows. So, here are some ideas to help you build a stronger psychology in 2020 for the rest of the year and going forward, if you didn't know it. And first thing to do is to have less social media in your life. So, like I said, that's not really the best place to have a discussion. You need to be face-to-face to where you can see people. If you say something really stupid, the threat of getting, physical really does deter a lot of really thoughtless and hurtful things that people wouldn't say to your face a lot of the times. So if you got less engaged in Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all these things that just work you up, prevent you from sleeping at night, prevent you from being friendly to your family and friends around you, if you spent less time on that and more time actually in your community, connecting with your kids, connecting with your spouse, connecting with your friends, connecting with the businesses in your community, connecting with the organizations in your community. You do church, you do, clubs, you got all these different opportunities very locally to engage with people and to, socially distance with people. But, the whole idea being, how can you get more local and stop focusing so much on everything every day that goes wrong worldwide? Because this tool we have called the internet is really good at letting you know all the injustices that go around all around the world. And it's important to keep that in perspective. It's important to acknowledge that. And it's also not healthy to be always engaged in that, So less time in social media, more time in your communities, more time with, your activism in your communities, more time thinking about, how you can help your community will help you build a stronger mindset right now. Second thing to just do away with, I've felt for years and years, is TV news. Just, if you're going to consume news, I highly encourage that you read it because it activates a different part of your brain and you're less likely to get caught up in the emotionality of whatever news personality is your favorite. So, like I said, I have family members that watch Fox News. I have family members that watch MSNBC exclusively. And you get fed these narratives that are meant to make you upset, to make you watch again, right? So priming you for all these negative feelings and to, decrease your hope. And that's just not a good winning prospect, Reading those folks, reading articles from those organizations can help you take a step back, right? 2, you can digest it at your own time. So if you're trying to figure out a view that's not your own, which is highly important to understand at least what, people are saying across all different types of politics, it's a lot easier to consume. And so you can be a little bit more like, oh, that doesn't make sense, or okay, I see what they're trying to do here. It's a much better experience. And eventually, you'll contain that, right? It takes a little bit more time to read. So this easy access outrage that's on, TV stations is not good. All right, sneeze, guys, because this is live. Sorry. Oh, one more time. Ugh. Woke up with terrible allergies today, folks. But all right. So to do less social media, to do less TV news, more community, more reading of the news. And when you're reading or you're paying attention to any type of media, right? Even if you still have to watch your one news source, look out for language and arguments that are othering. And, the language of othering is, all Democrats, all Republicans, and then all the derogatory combinations of, the wingnut, the libtard, all these different words that people use to signal I'm on side A, and side B is this abstract, terrible beast. I think that has done so much damage to our society, to our psyches individually, to have this imaginary boogeyman out there trying to get you, or the last thing is to do less, or pay attention to less owning, which is the language of so-and-so destroys so-and-so, or, these grand emotional, like, if you're part of this team, you're gonna really enjoy the how terrible this person on the other side, the other team did, so, destroyed, completely embarrasses, or, owns, that's a lot of the language in it too, but, so when you take these abstract ideas about people and you talk about in the language of owning them or destroying them or embarrassing them, what you get is like no room to have a conversation. So how do you counter those? Instead of othering, be more inclusive. I think we've lost the narrative, at least in the United States, that we are all Americans, that we're all struggling right now in our own ways, and there are sub-communities that definitely have a lot more concerns than others, but even that, like, each community's problem are our problems, because, rising tides raise all boats, and so if there are portions of our society that are struggling, we need to help raise them up. I think that's what really helped us after World War II, in a lot of ways, when people say that, the economy was better, that society was better, like, we could have been more prosperous had we gone further with being more equal across the board, in my opinion, but, right now it's a time to address that and help more people so we can have a stronger economy, a stronger nation as we go forward. And then instead of, owning people, look for people that are respectfully trying to inquire, right? So the opposite of owning is, listening. It's saying, okay, how did you get there? Explain your thought process here, because I think the more people do that, the more we kind of get to see maybe we have some conflicting or contradicting views on things. Maybe what people keep telling us out in the world is maybe a little true. But we need that space to say that, like, hey, like, we're all in this together, and, we all want people to succeed. We all want you, we want to, hear you, and we want you to be the best that you can. So that's what's on my mind this morning. I know it seems a little ranty, but, I think it's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a bit. And I think it's really helpful, because if you can not engage in social media or watching the media or discussions that are othering or owning people, you'll have a better psychology. You'll be able to be kinder to your family. You'll be able to show up more for your mission and your work. And that's desperately needed right now. So, hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments below. Just, be a little bit more positive if you can, or as you can. I know if you're stuck in any of those things that we're talking about, social media and whatnot, that it could take a little bit to get out of it, but I promise your life will be much better for it if you can do that stuff less. So, that said, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.